if you could share with our viewers the latest on what's happening in Dhaka. We are getting these pictures of protesters having stormed into the Gono Bhaban, which is the residence of the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, of course, not there. But this is almost like a picture coming out of a coup panning out in Dhaka, and Sheikh Hasina, of course, eased out with the army actually brokering that deal, perhaps.
Indeed, Abhishek, and the situation is very much critical, and it is a very big developing story. We see that the sequence of events in the last 1 hour that we have had, that Sheikh Hasina has departed from Bangladesh at around 2:30 p.m. this afternoon, and following that we have source-based information that now she has landed potentially in India's Agartala in Tripura. And moving on for further developments, the Gono Bhaban has been stormed. The reports are confirmed. Inside the Prime Minister's official residence in Dhaka, protesters have entered, and I think because of which the security of the Bangladesh Chief Minister had deemed that she has to escape and there was no other way. We are being also told that Sheikh Hasina wanted to record a message before leaving, but she was unable to do so in the haphazard and the hasty manner in which she had to be evacuated from the official residence of the Prime Minister. We believe that she is accompanied by her sister and her daughter while she was evacuated from the helicopter, and the visuals that we saw on our screen just a few moments ago. The situation in Bangladesh is now escalating. We are also told that the chief generals of the top generals of the Bangladesh army are also having chats with all the political parties in Bangladesh, including the BNP, which, remember, had not contested elections in Bangladesh, and recently Jamaat-e-Islami on Friday was also banned in Bangladesh. So we have seen how rapidly the political situation in Bangladesh has changed. We saw yesterday how there was an absolute curfew, an indefinite curfew imposed all across Bangladesh, and military had also been deployed last time around when we saw protests intensify during mid-July, around July 17th and 18th. So now military is supposedly almost all certainly in charge in Bangladesh is what we have. And we saw from our ground reports when we were earlier joined by student protester Sabir from Dhaka on how the army was also encouraging students to slowly and peacefully move towards Gono Bhaban when they were moving towards the Prime Minister's residence and slowly closing in. So a complete consolidation of the power at the moment in the hands of the Bangladesh military is what we have, and any moment now we are expecting that the chief of Bangladesh army, General Zaman, will refer and respond on what the present situation politically and militarily and strategically of Bangladesh is at the moment, Abhishek.
Fair enough. So Sheikh Hasina has resigned as Prime Minister of Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina has left Dhaka and is already in India, in Agartala. She has landed there in the chopper that took her out of Dhaka. Also that Bangladesh is now in army control. There is military rule in Bangladesh for whatever period of time. That clarity would emerge only after the press conference of the Bangladesh Army Chief All right, so obviously now that Sheikh Hasina, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, is in Agartala, this is happening, this is clear indication that India is firmly in the loop. Remember, this is happening in India's backyard. So India has to be there in the picture. And with Sheikh Hasina landing in Agartala, clear indication that she has been shepherded out to India and to safety from that very difficult security situation in Dhaka for her, with of course India giving a nod. So it seems that the Bangladesh army and the government of India have had some communication, and the military coup in Bangladesh panning out with the army taking over as Sheikh Hasina has been forced to resign. Remember, just yesterday, I'm told Pragya is joining us live from our newsroom. Just yesterday, there was a National Security Council of Bangladesh's meeting, which was chaired by Sheikh Hasina, in which she had asked the forces to double down, and she had in fact passed strict instructions to clamp down on these protesters. But then subsequently we have seen pictures also of the Bangladesh army in fact standing by the protesters, or standing by even as the protesters continued to carry out their arson and anarchy. And there was subsequently a statement yesterday evening from the defense forces attributed to the Chief of Army Staff, in which it was mentioned that the army is going to stand by the protesters and not the people of Bangladesh, and not with the government. And that was indication enough that Sheikh Hasina's hours or days were numbered, and that she would have to make way, and that the army was willing to take over if need be. And as it happens, now it is clear that Bangladesh is under military rule. There is a veritable coup panning out. The Bangladesh army has taken over the reins of the government in Dhaka, even if briefly. And PM Sheikh Hasina was asked to resign before the press conference of General Waqaruzzama, the Chief of Army Staff of Bangladesh Army, which she did. And she has been given a graceful exit, as it is being called out by the Bangladesh Army, with pictures there of her family and entourage making way out of Dhaka in a chopper, which now has landed in Agartala. So which means the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, has been granted a refuge, granted asylum in India. Not the first time. Remember, she was for almost a decade a political